Jerry Lane Enterprises and Courtesy Motors present Paradise, Louisiana. With Gary Risponi and Don Dubuque. Paradise, Louisiana is also brought to you by Baton Rouge Coca-Cola Bottling Company, Vinny's Car Wash and Oil Change, Cracker Barrel Convenience Stores. We have more than you expect. Always fresh, never frozen, Raising Cane's. Louisiana Fish Fry Products. Demco, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative. Pro Drive Outboards. Blue Cross Blue Shield of Louisiana. And Rouse's Markets. You're either local or you're not.
Welcome to Paradise, Louisiana, and another rodeo edition of Paradise, Louisiana. Don, I tried to make them all, but the Coco Marina, I had a little setback. I didn't get to make it, but I'm going to promise all those people, y'all send me all the results. Next week, I'll talk about y'all winners. And the third annual, I heard they had a great turnout. And y'all had some pretty good weather. They had a few little showers going and back and forth. But I did get to make the inaugural Salty Catch. It ran from Thursday, and they tell me, I got there Sunday morning and a bunch of the weights were posted on the board. They had some weights that were typical for the rodeo season. Mid-time, they had some snapper weights and different things they would catch. But what really impressed me, just again, they had a 7-pound trout, the big trout won, but they had tremendous amount of grouper, tremendous amount of alligator gar. No, people running the crowd. These people did a tremendous job. Crystal LaFosse, her mama Pam, and her daddy Pat, and the whole family, and all the volunteers, I'm gonna compliment y'all. Right now and then later on when we show it, what a tremendous job y'all did. It was at the Golden Nugget on the beach. It was beautiful. It was packed. They had visitors there, people watching the weigh-in, a lot of food, a lot of like an expo type deal. They had vendors there. Abu Garcia was there. Gerald Gaspard was there, and it was just a beautiful, beautiful day. And the showers were all around. Like I said, one got close and sprinkled. I said, here we go again. They're gonna black out me. They're gonna ban me from coming back next year. We'll be there. So that was a good one. And Don, we got a fishing report. I got a lot of fishing reports come in, but mostly this week is glad to have you back.
Well, you know, talking about those fishing rodeos, it's really encouraging and good to see new rodeos getting started and being successful. You know, we've seen a lot of older rodeos come and go. Some of them are still around, but it's always good to get new ones in there. Well, and we got 2 big ones coming up this weekend.
That's it. You're going to be at one, and good Lord's willing, I'll be at the other. Got a little test to run. But Don, what I hated missing was to get to go to New Orleans and you get that award.
That was very nice. That was the Ducks Unlimited state convention, and I'll talk more about that award I received. It's really quite an honor to get that. Did get to make a fishing trip before I left, and when I came back with Darryl Carpenter, went down to Grand Isle where the rodeo is, the Granddaddy Rodeo is going to be this weekend. And we're going to show you something you want to avoid. It's a really good lesson learned if you're going to be fishing in Grand Isle, something that doesn't happen that often, but when it does, you need to avoid it.
Well, like you said, I did more than that week. You know, we had a Wish to Fish at the kayak, the annual kayak trip over there in honor of Kristen Ray. Right. Danny Ray was there, and Danica and them, all the people from Wish to Fish were there teaching these young girls how to kayak. It's a 2-day event like they do it, so they don't leave nothing to chance. So when they teach them safety, teach them fish identification, but that's going to, I'm going to have to show that next week. I don't want to cut it. And maybe the following week we might run them both Wish to Fish together, because we got a Wish to Fish coming up this Wednesday. That's with the Miracle League kids and kids that are severely handicapped or physically and mentally challenged. And that's why all them captains donate their time. So I can't mention enough those captains. They stand in line to donate to this event. So we hope to bring that in a couple of weeks.
And on our Flambeau Outdoor News segment, we got good news and we got bad news. Good news is Well, you know, we got an award that was presented to someone we have worked very closely with over the years. We'll talk about her. Also, some bad news. If you thought that we had some reopenings of some offshore species of fish, it ain't going to happen. That's some bad news. And finally, we'll say goodbye to a long-time person, a conservationist who worked very hard for the state of Louisiana. It's all coming up right here on Paradise, Louisiana.
Courtesy's got your truck, man, so get yourself a deal, man.
Courtesy Automotive is one of the largest and most experienced automotive groups in the South. Courtesy is the clear choice for all your automotive needs. So whether you're looking for a Ford, a Chevrolet, a Ram, Toyota, or a GMC, Courtesy's got your truck.
A big truck, a small truck, Courtesy's got your truck, man.
I'm John Jackson, and you know we always say we gather our groceries out the bayou. Whether it's freshwater, saltwater, catfish, redfish, you have tons of choices when it comes to fish in Louisiana. But when I fry fish, there's only one choice, and that's Louisiana fish fry. My new favorite, the Cajun fish fry, has the perfect amount of cornmeal, corn flour, and the perfect mix of spices that really bring the heat. Hey, if you're craving Cajun, go look for the bright red bag at your local grocers. Bring home the taste of Louisiana with Louisiana Fish Fry.
Who doesn't want to save money on fuel? Now, Shell and the Fuel Rewards Network are putting you in control of how much you pay for fuel. Simply buy whatever's on your shopping list. Clothes, groceries, even dinner out. And earn cents per gallon savings at participating retailers nationwide. Now, fuel prices are in your hands. So why wait? Sign up at fuelrewards.com today and turn shopping power into saving power.
Visit Cracker Barrel convenience stores before heading fishing or hunting. We have more than you expect.
Welcome back to Paradise, Louisiana. And Gary, as you're going to be down at Grand Isle for the big Grand Isle International Tarpon Rodeo, one of the big categories that everybody likes to compete in is that speckled trout. And we did a little pre-rodeo trip last week, headed down there with Captain Darrell Carpenter of RealScreamers.com, my cameraman Tom Moore, and his stepson Drew, who is a Brother Martin Crusader football player this year. We got a chance to go down there, and we ran into something that doesn't happen very often, but when it does, it can mean trouble if you're trying to catch speckled trout. And I'm talking about what you have seen down there called those rollers. We're talking about those big rolling waves that are coming on the beach. There's no wind pushing them. I mean, it was almost dead calm down there. Maybe later got to a 5 to 10 knot wind. But there's something out there in the Gulf that causes these rollers to come in. And when that happens, this time of the year, when those trout have moved into the front side of the beach, they stay there. You can see the shrimp boats. You can almost walk across from one to the other because there's so many shrimp on the front side of that beach. That's where the speckled trout are. And with those rollers, you can't get at them because they're up close to the beach. You can't hold on there. We wouldn't have been able to video it because it was rolling so bad. It's crashing up against the rocks.
I got video somewhere of they look from the fish. A lot of those fish, they fight it.
Really?
Bootsy Toops, St. Cyrs, they get out there and you see that big Mr. Official, they'd be bouncing like this and they fishing off the back. I fished it one time catching trout. The waves would fill up the boat and the live well would be going on and the box would be floating.
It's a mess, but if you can fish them, you can catch them because that's where they are. So what we did was we headed to the backside of the island. We hunted and picked up a couple of fish. Some white trout started to show up. We talked about white trout and also those pogies. Darrell showed us, throwing that cast net, what to do with those pogies. Not only is that a good trout bait for big trout, that's also a very good bait for the offshore species. Well, Darrell Carpenter also offered a couple of recipes and some advice for handling white trout and also how to cook them because they do have a tendency to get mushy. So we got that little part to talk about with him and also some tips for using pogies as bait if you're headed down to Grand Isle. But the biggest tip of all, if you can find out ahead of time if those rollers are on the beach, either have a backup plan ready or maybe fish another day, because the day after the rollers stopped, it was on. We'll take you there now. Grand Isle fishing with Captain Darrell Carpenter of ReelScreamers.com. Ooh, look at that. Nice speckled trout down here on a beautiful day in Grand Isle.
Well, the best thing you can do is either large croakers and or the large pogies, which we cast netted today. Free lining that live croaker over a rock, over a jetty, out there on that beach, wherever you can find the fish. Like today, it was too rough for us to get out front, so you're just going to have to concentrate on rock jetties and those other areas where they'll congregate and wait for that one fish. This flashes. Well, you look for almost looks like little raindrops on the water. You'll see pogies either schooling together on the surface, or you'll see them doing their little tail flips. And if you've got a good pair of glasses on, a lot of times you can see the flash in the water to know that a school of pogies there. And then from there, you just get proficient throwing a cast net. Don't come running up on them on the big engine. You're going to make them sound and make them scatter. Just ease up on them on a trolling motor and get you a good cast on them, and 1 or 2 casts ought to do it. You'll get some redfish on them, but man, if you've got that offshore trip coming, can't beat them for tuna and snapper and mangrove snapper and other things. I mean, everything out in that Gulf will eat a pogie. True. It's just a croaker. Oh, baby red. Baby mangrove. Nice white trout.
And the main difference between a white trout and a speckled trout, of course, is no spots on the white trout. Good news is there's no size limit and no quantity limit, so you can keep all that you catch. But there is a downside, and that's keeping them fresh and how to cook them.
Well, the best thing that I have found to do is make sure you have a slush to put them in. Don't just throw them in an ice chest with a bag of ice laying in the bottom. Put them in a slushy chest, and there's 2 ways that I've learned as far as preparing white trout that could keep it from getting mushy. Number 1's a little labor intensive. It's as you clean it, have a second person there and actually batter them there. Lay them on a cookie sheet and freeze them already battered like a Miss Garden's fish stick, so to speak. And the trick is you never thaw it out. You take out however many you want out of the freezer, out of the bag, you drop them straight into grease. I've been told that method works really well and they hold together. The second way, which a lot of the restaurants are now starting to use, is don't fillet that white trout. Scale it. Scale it like you would a brim. Scale it, gut it, cut the head off, cook it whole. It's a new trend that a lot of people are using on red snapper and other fish. Just cook it whole, leave the skin on, it holds it together.
Ask me about my Tempur-Pedic.
Ask me how fast I fall asleep.
Why not talk to someone who's sleeping on the most highly recommended bed in America?
Ask me about staying asleep.
Tempur-Pedic owners are more satisfied than owners of any traditional mattress brand.
Ask me how it feels after 10 years.
Tempur-Pedic, the most highly recommended bed in America.
Ask about Tempur-Pedic at Olin's, where you know you always get the guaranteed low price. Olin's is the only store in Baton Rouge and Lafayette with the full line of Tempur-Pedics.
Come to the family-owned and operated Cassius Casino in Port Allen today, where the Vegas-style video poker machines are ready for your entertainment. Cassius Casino is the finest, cleanest, classiest casino around. And Cassius 50-style diner is now serving seafood daily, along with your favorite home-cooked specials 24/7. Hey, Cassius is fun. Cassius is exciting. So come to the unsinkable Cassius Casino in Port Allen. Over the river 2 miles west of exit 151.
Benny's Car Wash and Oil Change has been keeping cars and trucks in Baton Rouge clean and running smooth for over 50 years. At Benny's, we feature professional car washing, complete detailing, high-tech waxing and buffing, interior cleaning, and tire shine. Benny's, one stop for car maintenance with complete oil and lube services and even state inspections at our express locations. Visit one of our 5 convenient locations, including our newest store on Greenwell Springs Road. And don't forget to stop by Be Quick Convenience Store and Fuel Stop. Benny's Car Wash and Oil Change. Drive in dirty, drive out clean.
Box combo, please.
At Raising Cane's, we do one thing, and we do it better than anyone else. So why not let our food do the talking?
Open the window.
Raising Cane's, only the best chicken finger meals. One love.
Welcome back to Paradise, Louisiana. And Gary, this is Fishing Rodeo Week for sure. You went to one last week, as I mentioned earlier, a new rodeo, up and coming, very successful first year.
I tell you what, my compliments to them, especially being the first one. Everything, I couldn't see anything that was wrong except when the boats came in, they landed on the beach. The beach was beautiful. I mean, it was all that white sand. You see the casino in the back, Golden Nugget. You see all the cabanas and stuff out there. The tent, she had, I say she, I'm talking about Crystal, because she the one put all this together.
She must have had some rodeo experience, huh?
She fished rodeo. This is an offshore fishing food. She'll jump on a boat, goes everything. Her mama and daddy, her mama especially, they own in Lake Charles the Cajun. Shit, I knew I did it all the time. Cajun bait and tackle. They own Lake Charles Cajun bait and tackle right there, and sure, they support everything that comes up right there. First time I met them was at the CCA Trout Shootout. My mama won the women's division in that. They fish constantly all the time. They work, they donate to CCA and all the other conservation groups. They just a family that loves the outdoors and they promote Lake Charles area. Well, I'm gonna tell you what, Crystal could promote anything. First off, not only is she so talented, but she's a beautiful girl. And when you know, a lot of times when people come to you and you want to sell, when you set a good presence or your presence is as beautiful as she is, then you can get a lot done. And she does, and she gets a lot of volunteers. The way she put this together was it's a whole weekend event, started Thursday night. And look at some of these people, this bikini contest. And then they come back with the next day, they started fishing. They had the weigh-ins on the beach. These boats came in. The only one thing I told them, and they agreed with me, these bigger boats, now these bay boats, they can pull right in, jump off, get in the water. Kids are playing. They had the place roped off. Kids were swimming. People were sitting out there. You can look in the body of water. They had people riding Sudoos or whatever, Sea-Doos, and you see all the big ship passing in the past there. Shrimp boats, anything you look, you was there. It was just a beautiful venue, a beautiful place to have it. And I compliment them for, you worry how it's going to work out, especially, when you got a steering committee and say, this going to work, that going to work. The way they did the weigh-in, they had four-wheelers pulling trailers with ice boxes in them. They go by the boats. You single them out. They go get your fish. They bring it in, and then they bring you back, get another one. They had a place where you could drive in and bring your own trailer, your own ice box or truck, pull in, weigh your fish. It was tremendous. The only thing I said, the big boats, they couldn't get quite close in as they want to. Tide was up, thank God, too, but they still had a long ways to jump to get down and go get their fish.
I'm sure they'll work that out. But
they did. They did. What they worked out, they said next year they're going to have little ladders that'll work right there and have a boat for the ones coming. I can't think of anything better they did wrong.
Well, sounds like they were perfect on the infrastructure. How was the fish that came in? What was the quality to catch?
There were a lot of fish coming in, a lot of fish, and a lot of things, a lot of participants, almost 300 registered to fish. And they had all the times in the world. They were worried. I remember about midweek they were about 150, and Crystal said, but the final total was right at or over 300 participants. So, Salty Catch, the Inaugural. I couldn't get them to say Inaugural. They wanted to say First Annual. You know how we are in Louisiana, but this is Inaugural, Salty Catch from the Golden Nugget in Lake Charles, Louisiana.
Welcome to the Salty Catch Fishing Rodeo.
How much did the fish weigh, and what'd you catch it on?
31 pounds, 7/8, well, 31, 7/8, and then a finger mullet.
What brought you here, son?
My friend Keith Love invited me, and I saw Crystal advertising it, and I wanted to give the tournament some support. It looked like a great time.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Congratulations.
I love Louisiana. Everybody's so nice here.
Kirsten Metler from Iowa, and I work at Bolton Ford.
Erin Friesner from Sulphur, and I work at Bolton Ford.
George Hurd, Grand Chenier, Louisiana. Kenny Bracktail, Ball, Louisiana. First time here, I like it. Got a lot of room, more to do here. I hope they have it again next year.
I think they will.
This is the Midnight Rider out of Houston, Texas.
Scott Cloud, fishing team eraser. I'm from Jennings, Louisiana, Lake Charles.
I'm Lauren Frederick. I'm from Sulphur.
And she blames it on me because
And I had the biggest fish all the way to the boat, but my netter failed to net the fish.
What you had on for bait?
A mullet.
It's about an 8-pounder she lost. Star winner.
That's the way to be a good fisherman, though. You're still out here.
Still here.
Yeah.
Still pouting.
From Lake Charles, Louisiana.
Matt Leger.
Where you from, Matt?
Lake Arthur, Louisiana.
Originally from Alexandria, I'm living in Lake Charles now.
Tell me about your guide service.
Guys serve big red charters out of Abears Marina, specialize in speckled trout, redfish, and flounder here on Couchoo Lake.
What about your hunting guys?
Hunting guide service, I ain't much on this year. Took this year off, just doing it for fun this year.
Drake Kyle Williams, that's my full name. Yes, sir.
Where you caught that fish and what on?
I caught that fish south Cameron area.
Yes, OJ.
98 miles out,
Yes.
almost 100 miles offshore. Caught him on cut bait, and I think 200 something foot of water.
Miss B.
We're wrapping up the Salty Catch Fishing Rodeo. We got some great scores on the board. It was an unbelievable turnout with almost 300 anglers coming out to support St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We look forward to growing this event for many, many years to come and just getting everybody involved in fishing, whether you're fishing. Stay tuned for more Paradise, Louisiana. It's going to be on next year.
Courtesy's got your truck, man, so get yourself a deal, man.
Courtesy Automotive is one of the largest and most experienced automotive groups in the South. Courtesy is the clear choice for all your automotive needs. So whether you're looking for a Ford, a Chevrolet, a Ram, Toyota, or a GMC, Courtesy's got your truck.
A big truck, a small truck, Courtesy's got your truck, man.
It's the summer of sizzle at the all-new Honda of Covington Power Sports. The #7 power sports dealer in the nation. Get sizzling savings on a huge selection of Honda ATVs, side-by-sides, generators, and mowers. Right now, buy the Honda 4Trax Rancher for $37.99. $37.99 delivers the 4Trax Rancher. Plus, the Honda of Covington Power Sports Service Center is ready to keep your Honda running longer. Come on and find your happy Honda place at the all-new Honda of Covington Power Sports.
Welcome back to Paradise, Louisiana. And Gary, you've talked about this before. I was fortunate enough to be honored with a very prestigious award from Ducks Unlimited, National Conservation Communicator of the Year Award for last year. And I really want to thank Jerry Holden, Andy Cooper, the CEO Dale Hall of Ducks Unlimited, and everybody else for nominating me for that position.
But you know, they never forget Louisiana either. So there's got to be a reason behind that. What was one of the reasons he told
Well,
you?
we got such a rich, established waterfowl hunting tradition here, and we raise an awful lot of money. Louisiana per capita is always up there on the top. All of the chapters are very successful. A lot of people put in an awful lot of time. And when you see this, people like Ron Bartels, who was there, Eric Beyer, E.J. Dubler, a lot of these past presidents, it's inspiring to watch these people who really don't need to do this stuff. Mike Benj was there, and his mom, Dot Benj. I mean, they've just done so much for waterfowl hunting tradition.
Yeah, you know, Mike, one time, when we first started doing the show, Ducks Unlimited, and Joe couldn't come because of conflict with the paper. But when I went, they sent me to Canada to go see the potholes, the prairie potholes, where the money in Louisiana was being spent. And it made a big difference because at one time, Ducks Unlimited wasn't too popular. Again, they were losing some of their popularity. Thank God it's back again. They work close. They also work with Delta Waterfowl. They still got a few little things, to be honest, you know, little things they don't agree on between habitat and predator control.
Right.
But they're working together, and I think Dale Hall had a lot to do with that, too.
Absolutely. Dale's a fine man. He's got some great leadership skills, and I see a bright future ahead for Ducks Unlimited. It was a great event. By the way, congratulations to the St. Charles Parish chapter. For the second year in a row, they won that roadkill cook-off competition, which is pretty stiff. You got to come up with some pretty good stuff and be creative and ingenious to win that award.
You know, the first year I missed it, too. And I really wanted to be there because of you, but sometimes we can't do it all, Don. Congratulations to you from Paradise, Louisiana. And I'm sure the other people at WWL ought to be happy.
Well, thanks to Paradise, Louisiana, because this show was certainly instrumental. This, along with the Fish and Game Report from WWL TV, my flagship radio station, all the affiliates across the state. Without them, and really without the people in DU and the waterfowl hunters listening to that message, one guy is not going to get a lot done.
You got a little video of her?
We got a little video from the DU 2016 State Convention. I was supposed to go up to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania at the National, and that would have been nice, but it was extra nice to accept it here at home at the Louisiana State Convention at the Riverside Hilton in New Orleans.
And although I've been doing that radio show, I'm celebrating my 27th year this coming Saturday. I gotta tell you, this is great having won this, but there's a lot of work we still need to do. Not just here in Louisiana, but especially Louisiana, given the situation
It's not too late to join the 2016 CCA Star Tournament. Don't miss your chance to compete for over $500,000 in prizes. Boats, tackle packages, trips, and even cash. Over 25 divisions up for grabs. Whether you're young or old, fish inshore or offshore, they have one for you. Don't go fishing without your Star ticket. Register at ccastar.com now through Labor Day.
This is our love, this is our life, this is our home, Louisiana. This is our day, come what may. This is our home, forever long. This is our home. This is our life, this is our home.
Louisiana. Come to the family-owned and operated Cassius Casino in Port Allen today, where the Vegas-style video poker machines are ready for your entertainment. Cassius Casino is the finest, cleanest, classiest casino around. And Cassius 50-style diner is now serving seafood daily, along with your favorite home-cooked specials 24/7. Hey, Cassius is fun. Cassius is exciting. So come to the unsinkable Cassius Casino in Port Allen. Over the river 2 miles west of exit 151.
Benny's Car Wash and Oil Change has been keeping cars and trucks in Baton Rouge clean and running smooth for over 50 years. At Benny's, we feature professional car washing, complete detailing, high-tech waxing and buffing, interior cleaning, and tire shine. Benny's, one stop for car maintenance with complete oil and lube services and even state inspections at our express locations. Visit one of our 5 convenient locations, including our newest store on Greenwell Springs Road. And don't forget to stop by Be Quick Convenience Store and Fuel Stop. Benny's Car Wash and Oil Change. Drive in dirty, drive out clean.
Who doesn't want to save money on fuel? Now, Shell and the Fuel Rewards Network are putting you in control of how much you pay for fuel. Simply buy whatever's on your shopping list. Clothes, groceries, even dinner out. And earn cents per gallon savings at participating retailers nationwide. Now, fuel prices are in your hands. So why wait? Sign up at fuelrewards.com today and turn shopping power into saving power.
Visit Cracker Barrel convenience stores before heading fishing or hunting. We have more than you expect.
Welcome back to Paradise, Louisiana for our Flambeau Outdoor News segment. And Gary, we got, as I mentioned, some good news and bad news. I'm going to start with some of the good news. Maria Davidson, we know her and call her the Bear Lady. For the past 15 years, we've been following her progress with bringing back the Louisiana black bear from the endangered species to now pretty much a safe population and a growing population in the Tensas and the Atchafalaya basins. She, along with Deborah Fuller and David Swallow, a couple of U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service employees, have been honored by the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service with their Recovery Champions Award for bringing that back. And, you know, she's had some ups and downs along the way. There's been a lot of these black bear that she has captured, put the radio collars on. And unfortunately, she's had to go out when they find these bears that are illegally killed. She's had to answer the complaints, but beyond it all, she's done an outstanding
job. One I remember is Gary Krause and I was getting up early, we're going down in the St. Mary Parish, and where they were doing the program where they're telling the people don't put the garbage out or call for trouble bears. We watched them put collar on, and we went to get a den, and the baby bear had drowned. And high water, something happened, baby had drowned. We didn't get to see the baby. And another time we were successful. We had kids holding the baby to get in there, and they did the mama, and they move them around. She's a tireless worker. And let me tell you what, when she's a nice boss. But when she said things had to be done a certain way, she wanted to do a certain thing, you be there on time, or you didn't get it done, and she was a doer.
Well, that's on my bucket list, to be able to one day see the Louisiana black bear subspecies in the wild, and it's possible because of the work of Maria Davidson and her staff. So congratulations, Maria, on an award, very well deserved. And we also had a little bit of bad news. We were expecting on August 1st, at the end of this month, we were going to see the reopen of the triggerfish and also of the amberjack. Red snap has been shut down, so here's a couple of species. NOAA and the Gulf Fisheries Management Council, in their infinite wisdom and their excellent fish management program, has decided, no, they're overfished. We're going to have to delay that at least until January 1st of 2017. So we're going to have to go the rest of the summer.
Could be even later?
It could be later. There's some rumor about that, too. It apparently looks like the state, you know, we have control of state waters. They're going to fall in line and be compliant and also close those two species down in state waters, too. So that's not good news. But we got some events coming up, too, that's making news.
Well, you got, I'm going to tell you what, the number one thing, the CCA, their boat raffle is coming up. The 2016 Nordic Star, that's $50 raffle winner, will be announced in September. Also, the Bayou State Rabbit Hunters, remind y'all again, if you're in that area right now, it's going to be on August the 6th. It's going to be at Lamar Dixon. You get there early in the evening. We're going to run at 9 o'clock. It's growing so big. That's why they had to move the venue from New Roads to let everybody go. It's a good place right off the interstate. Anybody traveling from all over the state won't have any trouble getting there. The East Ascension, by the way, if you're in Gonzales that day, you get there early in the morning. The East Ascension Sportsman League held an annual kids rodeo. It's run from 9 to about noon when they give out awards, and they're going to feed you all there. And that's going to be at Twin Lakes in Dutchtown. And
you know what I like about that one? No artificial lures are allowed. You can only bring live bait, which is totally opposite of what you see in most rodeos. It's a lot of fun, and that thing has been going on for a number of years. Some of the kids that got into fishing that thing as kids are now grandparents bringing their grandchildren. It's a wonderful event.
Yeah, I got one more event, too, I was going to tell you. The Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation, they'll be at the Baton Rouge at La Berge. It'll be August the 13th, Saturday night. A little late notice, but that's always a big deal. And a lot of your big game hunters and them will show up and raising money for another good cause.
Getting back to that East Ascension Sportsman's League, members said goodbye last month to Keith Soche, who was a past president of not just the East Ascension Sportsman's League, he was also a past president and board member for the Louisiana Wildlife Federation. Keith and I, for over 30 years, worked together in the name of conservation through the Louisiana Wildlife Federation. Keith was a tireless worker, got involved in every issue. I can't tell you how many details he covered and how many arguments he settled. And we're sad to say that Keith has passed on, and our condolences to his wife, Cindy, and his family. Gone but not forgotten, Keith Soche, a real conservationist in Louisiana. We'll be right back with the Berkeley Abu Garcia Fishing Report on Paradise, Louisiana.
At Rouse's, we love food as much as you do. That's why it's no surprise our chefs aren't the only cooks who work here. Rouse's butchers know how to select, trim, and cook every cut we sell. Of course, our produce experts are the very best in the field.
And on the field.
And you can always count on our seafood department for the best catch.
Heads up, Brandon.
The best quality and the best price is why the best chefs and cooks
shop and work at Rouse's.
Who doesn't want to save money on fuel? Now, Shell and the Fuel Rewards Network are putting you in control of how much you pay for fuel. Simply buy whatever's on your shopping list. Clothes, groceries, even dinner out. And earn cents per gallon savings at participating retailers nationwide. Now, fuel prices are in your hands. So why wait? Sign up at fuelrewards.com today and turn shopping power into saving power.
Visit Cracker Barrel convenience stores before heading fishing or hunting. We have more than you expect.
It's the summer of sizzle at the all-new Honda of Covington Power Sports. The #7 power sports dealer in the nation. Get sizzling savings on a huge selection of Honda ATVs, side-by-sides, generators, and mowers. Right now, buy the Honda 4Trax Rancher for $37.99. $37.99 delivers the 4Trax Rancher. Plus, the Honda of Covington Power Sports Service Center is ready to keep your Honda running longer. Come on and find your happy Honda place at the all-new Honda of Covington Power Sports.
Captain Hurt in Grand Isle, Paradise Charters. Want to come out to Grand Isle, catch some big trout, get you some of these big croakers at Bridgeside Marina, some live shrimp, and hit the beach. Fish the beach, right in the breakers. Carolina rig, 3/0 KL hook. Hook them up. If it's too rough on the beach, can't get out on the beach because the ground swells or the water's dirty, run to the back, fish the points, pass, anywhere in the back. Find some clean water, you'll find some fish. Live shrimp.
And the live bait here, guys. I want to let y'all all know it's getting close to the top of rodeo time. And we got the live croakers all slimy and shiny, ready to go. Sand dollars the same way. Plenty of shrimp on stock. The shrimp will run at 50, 60 to the count. Beautiful shrimp for fishing, frying, anything you want to do with them. And we have them on both ends of the island. There will be no problem for bait for the Grand Isle Tarpon Rodeo.
You can't get live bait for some reason. We catch a lot of fish on opening night, chartreuse tail, blue moon, chartreuse tail, under a carp, 2 feet deep. All you got to do is watch the weather and come to Grand Isle. The fish are here.
And that was Captain Hurt Bergeron fishing down in Grand Isle, and that's as good a place as any to start our Berkeley Abu Garcia fishing report, because the granddaddy of them all, Grand Isle Fishing Rodeo, is this weekend. What's going on down there?
Well, first of all, one day, what's going on down there? Joe Lynn and Thomas Bisbeen are still catching big trout on pogies, free line and live shrimp. They go over there to Bridgeside and get the biggest shrimp they can get, and they get on them rocks. And even with those swells, like I said, as long as he got Joe Lynn, they're not going to fight it. But them true trout fishermen, they look for that. They go as long as they're not too bad. I've seen them come over front of the boat sometimes that bad. But they're getting on Elmer's Island and all those places to fish are there. People fishing off the bank, same thing. It's too rough for even you to fish off the bank. But you catch it just right, like you say, from one day to the next, it changes.
It change.
So you just keep up with the weather, ask those guys that are coming in, go by Bridgeside, go by Sand Dollar, ask those guys, the owners, you say, how y'all captains doing it? The other day I called for Buggy before I came down there to do the Worcester fish. I said, Buggy, what happened? He said, oh, I said, I got a friend who wants to book a trip Thursday. He said, don't know what the swells would do. All the captains went out this morning, they were in at 9:30, catching live shrimp, catching plastics. And plastic, they using, just like Herc told you, they got different plastic they use in the opening night. A lot of these imitate a shrimp, as long as they got a little chartreuse tail on it, they still catch them on plastic. If you got live shrimp and you start catching a few, and if you try plastics and you do it, you save your shrimp. You can go take them home and eat them, because they ain't cheap and they big. They're using big ones.
Yeah.
How many times you've done that?
Oh, yeah.
Take them home, ball a few, eat a few, put them in a coupillon, whatever you want to do with them. So it ain't no use if you
That's something you can't do with little croakers and pokies. You can't take them home and eat them.
I'm getting good reports from the Gulf. People catching the Gulf, they like the one, that new penny. Anything look like a shrimp, they catching fish on. Deadly Dudley's bait that looked like a shrimp. Voodoo shrimp really been the hottest one. Most of that little brown color, the natural color, so they're catching fish on all those type baits. And by the way, you know we're telling you the truth because ain't all them people are sponsors, you know, and that. So any report you send us, we report just exactly what you sent us. So if you ever get caught lying to us, you're in trouble. My big friend Mike Demonson, the last couple of weeks, has been going with guides over there in the Biloxi Marsh. Them young guys are catching fish. One of them young guys we're talking about on the news. He was talking also with Noah.com on a newspaper. They're talking about let's cut the trout limit down to 15 or 18 or whatever. I'm not ready for it yet. I don't think it's necessary. That's my opinion. But they're asking for opinion. I think you're getting ready to ask for an opinion on your show, whatever. I don't know. Mike Demonson was out there fishing in that area. They call a lemon a trout. And Agloni, his wife, Agloni Demonson, she had a 5.5 pound trout, big trout for the Biloxi Marsh. Looked really, really good, pretty. I don't think she registered for the Star yet, though, at that time. My grandson, Blake Ashford, and his friends went to Hopedale, catching a lot of fish there. They wanted to concentrate on redfish. They were fishing the type like they're fishing for bass. They had fun. They went after trout. They caught a bunch of small school trout too, all in that area. That coming from the Hopedale area, and which you just fished there not too long ago.
Well, to add to your Hopedale report, Bay Elwha, those islands out along there around Black Bay, the rocks, the dam right there, right close to Hopedale. I ought to get the kayakers out there. That has all been productive. The trout fishing is slowed a little bit because of the time of year, but I tell you, the puppy drum and the redfish have more than made up for the lack of that. I talked to Captain Tofield Bourgeois, and right now you can get out there. There's those perfect, 18-inch size puppy drum in big schools. And when you get a calm day, you look for that nervous water. You can go out there. If you want to do it easy, get a popping cork with some cracked crab. You can use shrimp, or you can even fish the plastics.
These are for the drum?
That's for the black drum.
My best lesson ever, I was fishing at Towfields, and we were using plastic. And back then, you very seldom use fresh bait or lime bait or whatever. And Pancho said, boy, we'd have had some bait do this. Well, Sambo Barra had left me some gulp, some of them gulp crab, or any gulp bait. A drum will kill it. A drum will kill a gulp bait. If you're there and you don't have any live bait or fresh shrimp, a drum will kill a gulp.
That's a good bait for him. Also, Mike Gallo was on vacation last week. I talked to Captain Jim Lamarck about the Pontchartrain Lake Bourne complex, and something really unusual has taken place in Lake Pontchartrain, even as far west as the Causeway. Big schools of bull reds are out there already, and normally you don't see that until much later into the fall, but if you look and you see these birds circling on Pontchartrain, it's a good chance. It's not going to be trout. It's not going to be trash catfish. It could be those bull reds, so you might want to take advantage of that.
They had a bunch of bull reds came in at the rodeo. I took some pictures from outstanding. I know that in Cocodrie. Cocodrie, that's a standby. If they want to show tourists, they want to do it, they're going right out in them sandbars and them islands, and they catching some monster bull reds. So, sometimes that gets over. You sit there and fight them, and then you can't eat them. But that's it. A lot of sports. A lot of people catch Jack Gravel just for the sport. So, offshore, Kevin Boudreau, the Bro Bridge boys, 130-pound yellowfin, Grand Isle. You're talking about yellowfin during that salty catch rodeo. There were a lot of lemon fish. You either call them ling or lemon fish, whatever, cobia. They were coming in. So a lot of them good mid-size, not real big, but every now and then they had one. They had one in there with pushing 70-something pounds. They had yellowfin tuna at 79 pounds. So if you saw that part of the show, we'd run the totals, you see there were a lot of them caught. Brad Cormier and friends at Red Snapper in Venice. Justin Scott and family at Red Snapper in Venice.
Well, freshwater-wise, if we're going to move on there, Jeff Brule made a trip down to Venice with Steve McNamara, a fellow member from the Louisiana Outdoor Writers Association. They said they had a little bit of a tough time, but they did manage to get their limit. They were looking at the end of a rise in the river and an incoming tide. Delta duck was the area where he found most of the fish. A dead sticking, a power bait worm is what he was doing to make it work, and you had to find some clear water. But he's predicting as that river continues to fall, it's going to return to what the action was a couple of weeks ago. Delacroix got a good report, another one from my friend Toby Cooper. He and his friend Gary went down there and caught a mixed bag limits of both bass and redfish on the inside in Delacroix. Chafalaya Basin-wise, Morgan City gauge is below 3.2, 3.1, somewhere in that area. And what happens there is you start fishing tide when that happens instead of just high flowing out river water there. Jeff says look for the bass on the points and the laydown. That's usually where you're going to find them in the summer heat. If you get into open water, run a crankbait through there right at the edge of the cover, or you can do some of that punching, you know, get you a nice heavy jig and punch down through those lilies and pick up some fish there too.
Yeah, you know, that's what we found. Gary and I fished over there 2 weeks ago, and we were fishing points. But the river had a slight rise, and it came up again. But even that tide overruled that slight rise.
That's right.
And that's where you want to find that moving water, find that clear water. But you don't want to find black water. Black water means it stays back there, it's stagnant, there's no oxygen, it moves it out. But for true spillway fishermen, you want to find that water that's still cold and not muddy, but mixed. And you see it moving, you're catching that one, they're fishing live bait. I'm getting from ports, don't know exactly where it was. Kevin Vu had some bass and bar pitching there, they look all nice. And then down south where most of the fish are coming, they're finding some goggle eye. Where we used to fish goggle eye in the Pigeon area, back in all the canals and runouts, the Williams Canal, I haven't getting any reports there. I don't know whether people are not fishing or they're just fishing and where they find other people fishing. That's the only thing I can look. The landings seem to be full. I crossed Henderson. I've seen not 1,000 boats, but I've seen a good many of boats fishing Henderson right now. The water looks good, and they were fishing all around the interstate. So if y'all got a good report from Henderson, just call and give it to me. Y'all don't know if they're fishing sac-a-lait or bass, but the guys I saw a couple of days, they were on a point in Bijou, and I was going over, traveling over to going to Lake Charles, and they were fishing points. They looked like one of them was throwing a crankbait, or they were fishing Carolina rig off that point. Because I was, what you say, you going that fast, how are you seeing it? Well, I just focused on them for the short period of time with no cars around me early in the morning, and that's where I saw them fishing.
Well, I'll tell you another place that's on right now is Lake Okissa over there in southwest Mississippi. Getting reports that 4 to 5 pound bass are common, and there's some much bigger than that. Fishing them kind of deep, between 12 and 15 feet of water, but that's a great late summertime place.
Well, I haven't getting any reports from North Louisiana at all, but every week, and we get it from Toledo Bend, and I can't say any more. Living the Dream God Service. I don't know if he's booked. Gary Krause, Tony, and then went over there this past week. He sent me a picture yesterday, monster sac-a-lait. They're catching bass also the same way they're doing it, but right now crappie. At night, during the day, early in the morning, and getting in and getting out before it gets real hot. Them party boys, by the way, got roofs on them, so protecting from the sun. Want to make a good trip, that usually run about $100 a person all the time. That's everything. They furnish rod, reels, bait, whatever you want. So that's it, living the dream.
All right, send those pictures in and your reports, Gary at Paradise, Louisiana. And we'll have a lot of rodeo wrap-up action for you next week, right back here on Paradise, Louisiana.